up, Taiwan? I'm Joyce, coming to you from Taipei with the latest news. Taiwan is calling for the release of a fishing boat and its 5 crew members who were taken from waters off Jingmen by the Chinese Coast Guard on Tuesday night. The seizure of the boat is being seen as the latest attempt by China to put pressure on Taiwan. Reese Ayers has more.
Crossing the line. A new flashpoint in the Taiwan Strait after a Taiwanese fishing vessel was boarded and detained by China's Coast Guard Tuesday night. The boat, containing a crew of 5, was then escorted to the Chinese port of Weito after crossing into Chinese territorial waters. Taiwan's Coast Guard said they tried to intercept the vessel as it was being taken away, but eventually backed down to avoid escalation. Now they're urging China to exercise restraint and to let the fishers go.
位在陆方领海内，后续将由陆委会渔业署透过两岸管道接洽中方。海巡署呼吁陆方不要用政治因素处理这起事件。
It's the most recent in a string of incidents involving fishers and Coast Guard in the waters between the two countries. In February, 2 Chinese fishers drowned in Taiwanese waters after being chased by Taiwan's Coast Guard. Then, in March, a Taiwanese fisher was detained for floating into Chinese waters. He's yet to be allowed to return home. Politicians are weighing in on the increasing tensions, saying China is deliberately pushing the boundaries with Taiwan.
除了制造区域的紧张，对台湾的灰色地带胁迫以外，事实上对自由民主世界来讲，这都是一个升高敌意、制造不安的因子，对中国毫无好处。
And Taiwan's Coast Guard are warning vessels still operating in the area to stay alert, commenting on the often arbitrary way fishing boats are targeted in an area where accidental incursions are common.
为什么单独挑那一个？那这跟我们在海上执行作业的时候，我们在取缔陆船一样，有时候就是一个随机的，看现场的状况来决定的，并没有特定的一个目的。
In light of recent escalations, both sides have been beefing up maritime security. Taiwan's Coast Guard has recorded over 500 Chinese incursions since the beginning of the year, accusing Beijing of normalizing such behavior. It's a trend that seems set to continue as more vessels operate in the Taiwan Strait. Alishan Chen and Reese Ayers for TaiwanPlus.
The economy minister is facing questions from lawmakers after fresh blackouts hit 2 cities on Tuesday. As John Van Trieste reports, his answers could signal a shift in Taiwan's nuclear energy policy.
Yet another blackout. Nearly 5,000 homes in the northern city of Taoyuan lost power Tuesday morning. A squirrel touched a power line, and that was it. It's the latest in a string of outages in recent months that's frustrating residents. And that wasn't the only blackout of the day. Around noon, a malfunctioning fuse box cut power to over 1,000 homes in Tainan down south. These blackouts come 2 weeks after a crucial tech zone in Taipei lost power, shutting down work and raising questions over how realistic Taiwan's goal of becoming an AI hub really is. It's not just residents losing patience. On Tuesday, lawmakers had questions for Economy Minister J.W. Guo. He says there are problems like old equipment and growing a population density in some areas that strain the grid. But he says the blackout situation isn't as bad as it may seem.
每一年的跳电的次数跟当今来比，现在并没有比较多，现在只是因为媒体的报道，反而好像他每天看到都有个跳电。
Then came something of a surprise. For years, the ruling Democratic Progressive Party has promised to phase out nuclear power by 2025. But Guo now says it won't put up a fight if the opposition-controlled legislature votes to keep reactors online, including a reactor whose fate may be decided in a vote next week.
这么多的民众这个期许，立法院他会参考吧？我们就是执行单位，立法院只要通过什么，我们就去执行什么。
Some analysts see this as evidence of a split on the issue within the Democratic Progressive Party, and a sign of uncertainty about what's to come.
I think you can separate between like the pro-business people that President Lai has elevated within his administration and who are generally pro-nuclear, and what I would characterize as the DPP old guard, such as the vice premier and the premier. I think they're still really attached to the no nuclear homeland idea.
From human error to faulty equipment to squirrels, Taiwan's recent power cuts have many causes. But in the background are worries about supplying Taiwan's tech and industry sectors. There's anxiety over dependence on imported fossil fuels. And there's debate over where nuclear power should fit into the energy mix. Just over a month into the job, the new cabinet faces a serious question with no clear answer: how to power Taiwan. Klein Wang and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
16 people have died from a rare summer flu spike in Taiwan over the past week. The youngest was a 3-year-old who was vaccinated for flu last year. Taiwan has not seen a summer rise in influenza for 7 years. This one coincides with a rise in COVID-19 cases. The Centers for Disease Control reported 64 deaths due to complications from COVID last week. It predicts the wave will peak in mid-July. Starting in August, high school students in Taiwan will be allowed to take days off to care for their mental health. The scheme comes in response to rising concerns over mental health issues among young people. From 2014 to 2022, the suicide rate among people aged 15 to 24 more than doubled in the country. Universities have already introduced a similar plan, allowing 3 to 5 days off per semester. High schoolers wanting to claim a day off will not need a doctor's note, but will need permission from their parent or guardian. Taiwan's best known for its high-tech exports, but that's not the country's only claim to fame. It's also the leading Mega-Yacht producer in Asia and the 4th biggest in the world. The secret to its success lies in its control over the entire production process and its highly customized boats. Irene Lin reports.
This is Ocean Lily, a 33-meter-long, nearly 140-ton Mega-Yacht sold for $13 million. It was ready for testing in open water and shipping after over a year production in the southern port city Kaohsiung, the heart of Mega-Yacht production in Asia. Taiwan has historically been the largest Asian producer and ranked 4th globally in 2020. The local industry's annual revenue is around $300 million. In a sea of mass-produced yachts made by U.S. and European competitors, Taiwan takes pride in its fully customizable yachts that bring the client's vision to life.
客户他有这个 idea， 但是除了我们，没有人有办法做给他，所以他才来找我们。那这个就是在全世界上最强的竞争力。
Founded in 1987, Horizon Yacht was one of the many companies that were launched amid a shipbuilding boom. After World War II, Taiwan went through a series of infrastructure upgrades, officially called the 10 major construction projects, proposed and overseen by then Premier Jiang Jingguo. One of those projects was Taiwan's first shipyard for producing large metal ships to replace wooden sampans, flat-bottom boats that had been built and used for local transport since the 18th century. In the late 1970s, some shipyards started to build leisure boats at the request of foreign firms stationed here.
那他们就请这边的造小木船的船厂帮他们造一些他们想玩的游艇。那发现台湾的工艺技术水准相当的不错，所以慢慢的这些船厂就起来，变成去做这些小游艇。
With a solid foundation in shipbuilding and talent from across the country, Horizon has expanded its business to become an entirely self-sufficient shipbuilder.
比较大的转捩点是在2008年。 那个时候就是金融海啸嘛，所以很多船厂都倒了，代理商都倒了。我们决定生产自己的船，自己卖，自己设计，自己拉客人。从那个时候开始，才是跟其他的船厂很不一样的地方，变成一个自有品牌厂，而不是单纯的代工。
The magic begins with development, digitally. Architects put in long hours to adjust the boat's engineering, exteriors, and interiors to fit the client's needs. They say it's like building a mobile home, and a small adjustment can have a critical impact on the safety and functionality of a boat.
船的设计没有最好的设计，只有在各个方面最均衡。你要把它收敛在哪一点，永远都是一个 compromise 的一个结果了。
Once the exterior and the interior designs are finalized, a mold will be made using computer-controlled machinery that twists and tilts along 5 axes to create the intricate designs. The mold will then be layered with high-tensile fiberglass sheets and filled with resin, using a special technique developed by the U.S. Navy. to ensure no air bubbles are trapped inside. Then it's time for woodworkers, electricians, and plumbers to shine in the joinery process, which takes up 70% of the production time, since it's all done by hand. After 16 months, Ocean Lily was ready to launch for the first time at a dock 5 kilometers from the factory. But getting it there wasn't easy. It was a meticulous process that allowed no room for mistakes. The crew worked late at night to avoid any traffic and roadblocks. Workers on the ground and on the boat must constantly report to each other, as even a tiny scratch could cost them a fortune. One final run, and it's ready to be delivered to its buyer. For the team behind the Ocean Lily, it's a relief and a badge of success.
我们常讲台湾是那个半导体业的王国，可是有多少半导体业的从业人员看得到客户使用你的东西，亲自告诉你他很喜欢这个产品？我想这个成就感在别的行业是很难能够得得到的。
While Taiwan's tech still takes the main stage, Mega-Yacht designers and builders are forging their own path to fame. James Lin and Irene Lin for TaiwanPlus.
Documentary makers from Taiwan and Japan are collaborating on a project on one of Taiwan's most popular attractions. Alishan Hughes tells us more.
A journey into one of Taiwan's most popular sites, the forests of Alishan. This train line has existed for over a century, built to transport lumber during Japan's occupation of Taiwan. It's now a passenger train and considered one of the most beautiful mountain railways in the world. Over the years, floods and landslides have left parts of the line damaged and closed off. But after 15 years of restoration, the full rail line is finally reopening.
这个蒸汽车修复的同事，靠着我们去找资料的力量，去把它整合文字，跟让有图片，用留下中文文字可以做传承的模式。这一段真的是有一点骨头了。
A documentary crew from Taiwan Public Television Service, the parent organization of TaiwanPlus, and Japan's NHK collaborated to film the restoration, along with the scenery of Alishan and its cultural significance. They used ultra-high 8K video quality to capture the area's natural beauty, set to an orchestra soundtrack with narration by Taiwanese actress Gui Lunmei.
这条铁道是阿里山的命脉，穿梭纵横在起伏的山峦之间。
It's a project the producers say is invaluable to Taiwan's culture and history.
业的铁道文化，它是台湾一个非常非常重要的文化資產。
記録って残す際に、やはり当時の私たちが見たそのままを記録し残していけるっていうのが一つ大きなメリットになります。
The documentary premiered at Chiang Kai-shek Memorial in Taipei, aiming to share the beauty and significance of Alishan with the world. Devin Tsai and Harel Hughes for TaiwanPlus.
Japan has begun circulating its first new banknotes in 20 years. The 3 denominations of bills feature new faces and new security features. They are the first in the world to feature hologram technology, generating a portrait that faces different directions depending on the viewing angle. It's part of efforts to tackle counterfeiting, even as the country moves to digitize its economy. Authorities say they plan to print 7.5 billion new banknotes by the end of the fiscal year, but existing bills will remain in circulation. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more of our stories. Finally, check out the In Motion Art and Football exhibition at the German Football Museum in Dortmund. It coincides with the Euro 2024 and includes nearly 200 works representing all 24 participating nations. I'm Joyce. Take care and see you next time.